Everybody, I'm Dan Lutz, and welcome to the Frontlines. In the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminonkeys, and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons, welcome. So today is a start of something unusual. We have some interesting posts that were posted not today, from our favorite poster, 17NES. So 17NES has posted not too long ago about a clock with Micky on it, and it's a Micky watch, right? And his hands are out. One's pointing at 10, and one's pointing at 2. So it's what time is that? Well, if we looked at it in the form of a date, that would be October 2nd. And with the post that came from Trump that he tweeted out, which is how we do our 17NES proofs, by looking at the Trump tweets and the timestamps and what is being said, right? Looking at capital letters. Those turn into numbers. Those numbers turn into posts. All in all, we're up for the next ride. So we're gonna get into that. So what else? On the housekeeping front, this program is brought to you by your donations. So it's the only way I can keep going in this interesting world lockdown situation. So. My link is down below. There's a PayPal link down below. This is there's also one for Life Force there as well. So if you'd like to contribute to Life Force, you're able to do it there. So any donation, either for me or for Life Force, is good. Small donations, medium, large, super large, it all works. Okay, that being said. This is going to be interesting because we're really in a time in the 17NES postings that is towards the end, I believe. We may not even see it go on after this, after the election. It's possible that it could end. I have a suspicion that it will continue, but the reason why I'm saying that is the very first posts, in the very first days, are all talking about this time before the election. And one of the common themes is this is not just any 4-year election. And another theme is future proves past. These are stated throughout the postings over the last 3.5 years. Boom, 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 again and again. So we look to see what happens in the future to something that was said in the past that matches. And that this particular matching that is going on has been done from um, the standpoint of, sorry, a little distracted there. Okay. I was looking, and I said, I usually have some viewers by now, and I was looking down there. It says current viewers 0, but there's another place where I can look. It says, oh, current viewers 8, and there we go. And Fred is asking where I got the afro. It came actually in a Cracker Jack box. It was my prize when I escaped from the house, and I've only left twice. Special permission. Well, no, actually, the special permission has part lapsed, so it's a lower level of lockdown right now. So I was able to go there, but I had to wear a mask this time. I mean, not a mask, a face shield, including the mask, to go in to where I get a haircut and dye. But there was no choice of color. So, anyway, it's my beautiful fro. So since they like to also, I let them cut it extra short. I normally don't get my hair cut this short unless it's very hot summer, and it's not the summertime here now. But it was good to let it go, so that means it tends to stick more straight upwards. So, okay, so let's whip this back around. So what we're looking at here with this future proofs past is looking back to the very first post and the ones that just came in the few days after that, which there was a lot of posting came in at that time. And we can look at as a roadmap pointing from today, using the Micky's watch, the clock, right, as what is our timestamp to look to now start our countdown to the first post. We're going to look at that. Okay, so first, let's talk about what's happened. What are we talking about here? Okay, we're talking about a clock and Micky. Oh, let me bring this around to here. 1 second. So here we go. Now I'm not going to go to the actual post for where this came in from 17NES, but October 2nd, 10 on the shorthand, longhand is at 2. There's something else to point out. Of course, it says trust the plan and enjoy the show, because that's actually what we're going to be doing here. Let's zoom in here just a little bit. Let's get in here into the details. Notice something there on the second marks. They look a little bit different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8, and this 8th one is just a bit brighter, right? Just a bit brighter. And if we want to look around, is there anything really else that's going on here? I mean, I don't really pick up on anything you can really see, but I think that's really what we're talking about. So 10 and 2 and 8. 10, 2, and 8. Okay, 8. Well, let's drop in on a Q post. Well, I said it wrong. A Trump post. So what did we learn, right, at 10:44 p.m. on the 2nd? I mean, on the 1st, sorry. It's that Hope Hicks, who has been working so hard with even taking a small break, is just tested positive for COVID-19. Terrible. The First Lady and I are waiting for our test results. In the meantime, we will begin our quarantine process. So, again, looking at capital letters, right? This is something that we've learned to follow the comms. That turns into 88. And so here it is on the side. I actually zoomed in on that. Let me pull that up. This is on the site that I'm using to look at these things. So this is post number 88, November 5th, right, of 2017. So again, this is only a week into posts that have been coming in from 17NES. So what does it say? 10 days of darkness. Okay. Well, 10 days. It doesn't say 10 days of darkness. Everyone's telling me 10 days of darkness has started. Okay, 10 days. Darkness. So dark can be quiet. Quiet time, right? Scare Tactics MSM. Remember, this is from, November 5th of 2017, right? So we're really talking 3 years ago. D's falling. So were D's falling back then? Really? Were they falling back then, or are they falling now? R's walk away or removed. So how many R's have walked away? Right? How many people didn't run for office the last midterm elections? Paul Ryan, for example, Speaker of the House. Why would he step down? A young guy already at Speaker of the House positions, and he steps down? Wonder why. Walk away or removed? Then we have Saudi Arabia to US to Asia to EU. Disinformation is real. Distractions are necessary. Focus was us today, while real happening in Saudi Arabia under this same context: military control, martial law, missile strike, rogue. Now, I must point out that Iran just actually fired a missile. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. At well, let's just put it this way: it was Iran surrogates in Iraq fired a missile at American positions in Iraq. So that happened, right? Now, was it rogue? Let's say it's probably a good idea that it was a rogue. I remember this was from 3 years ago, this post. Necessary. POTUS Twitter attack, see above. This is always being attacked. Important. Why is this relevant? What was the last tweet by POTUS prior to the Saudi Arabia post? Well, we could go look at that, but we'll just keep going. Why is this relevant? Saudi Arabia 1, US 2, Asia 3, Europe 4. Where is POTUS? Well, we know he's gone off to the hospital. Why is this relevant? Military operations. Operators in US. Snow White. The Great Awakening, Godfather 3. Okay. Well, let's look at a couple of other things that we know. That's not the one I want. Where is this? Is it this one? No, this one. This one right here. So this is just a very short from Trump as he's leaving to go to the hospital.
I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support. I'm going to Walter Reed Hospital. I think I'm doing very well, but we're going to make sure that things work out. The First Lady is doing very well. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will never forget it. Thank you.
So, message to the people, right? So he's on his way to the hospital. That was by the Golden State Times. And let's look at this one. What I want to point out here, this is him going to the helicopter. And notice he's wearing a mask. And the reason why that's important is if you are sick,
and I should also tell you that the nominee herself, Amy Coney Barrett, was also there, and she has tested negative. Meanwhile, earlier today, dramatic images as Marine One departed the White House as a nation and a global community, at least for a moment, wondered what was coming next. Before leaving, the president recorded a video that he posted on Twitter.
I want to thank everybody for the tremendous...
So anyway, so he's wearing a mask, on his way to the hospital. Okay, and now one more story.
All right, an update for you now on some new information just coming in from the president's physician, the president, of course, at Walter Reed Medical Center. We're told he's been prescribed the drug remdesivir. You've heard about that as far as the virus has been going on in the headlines this year, one of the treatments. He's gone through his first dose. We're told he is resting comfortably, and he is not on any kind of supplemental oxygen. Dr. Sean Conley says the president's doing very well, and by the way, the president just tweeted the same thing. There were all caps and exclamation points, so tonight, sounds like he is his normal tweeting self.
Okay, so he's on what? The malaria medicine? No, he's not. he's on the one that who has a patent on this remdesivir? Fauci, Anthony Fauci, has the patent on it. Sorry, I'm trying to click on my software and it's giving me the spinning ball. I hate when that happens. Interesting. My software still says it's no viewers on one part. Another part says there's a few there. I think I'm still streaming. 34 viewers now. Hello, everybody. Put a pause on that for a moment. So we've got William. Hi, William. And we got Mr. Harry Palm, whoever that is. Fred Seabuck. All right. Good looks. It looks good on you. Oh, thank you. My Asawako, my wife here, she likes it. This is the standard color for Filipinos, right? It's black-haired. It's actually called black-brown. I don't see any brown whatsoever. All right. And then we got Josette. Why is it relevant that he's wearing a mask? Thank you for that question. Okay, so the reason why it's relevant that he's wearing a mask is because it's the only time that you should be wearing a mask. If you are ill, it's to prevent it from going out into the world and spraying on everyone and getting them sick. It does not protect you from getting sick. And on top of that, even though that's that has been the general thought for all of these decades, is that the mask prevents you from spreading any of these viruses or bacteria, really, because of the water droplets in your when you're breathing and when you're speaking. That slight spray that goes out can land on something, and someone could touch it, and they could rub their eyes and get infected. So there is something to be said that makes logical sense. But the same group, the American Society for Physicians and Surgeons, has said in their one report that says the masks have zero ability to block viruses. Zero. It does not work at all. Right? They've done studies. We've brought out the study and we've talked about it. They've also, after that, said another study they did for 6 months, no masks and doing surgeries. And guess what happened? 50% drop in infections. So basically, even though they thought that they were doing a good thing, because yes, it makes logical sense, it prevents that from going outwards, right? It's the unintended consequences of using masks, because you're gathering all of the waste coming out of your from your breath in this cloth, which then concentrates it and probably causes more of a problem, because actually while you're breathing out, some of it could make it out. Some of these bacteria could make it out through the mask and concentratedly, causes more infections. So there's a reason why, he's wearing a mask. It's for the purpose of showing that that's the only time you should be wearing a mask. Remember, we're thinking deeply into this and looking at all of the evidence that we can find to discuss, what the reality is. The reality is masks don't work at all in both directions, keeping you safe and also preventing others from getting sick. Don't work. So that's why it's relevant, just from that narrative, right? Because this is a narrative war that we're in. Right? It's all information warfare. So Trump is using this very powerfully. When's the first time you saw him wear a mask? He went into a hospital, right? And the hospital required you to wear a mask. And when he wore the mask, he had generals on either side of him. He was at the head of this line of generals walking down a corridor, right? And he was wearing the mask. They were all wearing masks. He looked intimidating. So, narrative, right? So, now we're seeing this come about to where there is actually something else that's going on here with this 10 to 2 and then 8. So what has been talked about in the force, as I said, was the 10 days of darkness and so on. I'm thinking that there's a little bit more to the timing of this. Remember, this Micky watch came out weeks ago. This Micky, 10 to 2 came out weeks ago. Forget which, we could go look it up, but it was still, it's a while ago. That being the case, how would they know that on October 2nd at whatever, 1 a.m., whatever time that they made the announcement that Trump's positive, came back positive? How would they know, right? Unless it was planned. Right? It was planned. And then what medicine is he on? Anthony Fauci's. What medicine was he on prophylactically, months and months ago? Well, the malaria medicine. The hydroxy, the rest of that you can guess. So, and he was fine, right? At a certain point, he stopped taking it, right? Then he got sick. And now he's on Anthony Fauci's remdesivir, which does not work. Remember, we discussed this. Anthony Fauci's had to actually alter his own regimen of testing, right, for remdesivir to show that it had some positive outcome. He changed his sample mid-testing. You can't do that because his results were too low. And guess what? They charge $3,000 for this thing that doesn't work. So why would Trump be taking it? Possibly to show that it does not work. He says, I've been on this for like 3 days. Everything's getting worse. Switch me to hydroxy, malaria medicine. Would that not bring up the confidence level of hydroxy and torpedo? Hunt for Red October, send out a torpedo, sink the Fauci boat of remdesivir. I think that's what we're seeing here. This is just part of the plan. So let's look back at the watch. What does it say? It's 10 2 and 8. What does the 8 mean? What is 8? Well, when you're thinking about this kind of, so the quarantine period is what, 2 weeks, right? Unless you don't show any signs of fever for a certain amount of time, and then, it's shortened to what? 10 days. Or 7 days, depending if you need to get back to work or something like that. They have a precaution of 10 days. Or 8 days. So I think the 8 has to do with how long we're going to see this go on for where Trump is off of the campaign trail, right? And it's all to torpedo remdesivir and to bring up the view that the malaria medicine is working, and then followed by the FDA coming out with a emergency approval for the use of hydroxy for the purpose of COVID. So this is what we see is unfolding. So I know the one that I've had someone send me this, the one that shows the tweet from Trump and the HH meaning 88, and she was believing that this meant that we were going to start 10 days of darkness and that all bad things are going to. I don't see it that way, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that have been going down this road. Oh, and by the way, she just lost her Facebook account for posting these kind of things, right? So that is also the censorship on that is up. I went and checked mine. Mine is still up, but I don't use mine. Right? I don't post much. If I post, it's like I post a video that I was just completed or one. More of a place to keep track of some particular videos. This will be a list of them there. So this is what I think is really what we're seeing. I think that's the whole point. That this is the countdown to the election. This Micky coming up and showing us the time and this start date is giving us from an October 2nd standpoint to November 3rd, 1 month period, where we're going to see the countdown happen backwards from post number 88 to post number 1 on the 17 NES. This is why I say it's possible that after the election that the 17 NES is gone. Because guess what? The alternative media, the digital army, has been sprung, right? And we can go forth and keep going and keep going. Don't require any posts anymore from 17 NES because the job is complete. Mission accomplished. Don't take that in a bad way because Bush said mission accomplished after the Iraqi war, that kind of stuff. They were expecting, the ones above to come down at that point and say, oh, okay, we did what we said. Here we are. Anyway, it's a whole other story. Okay, let's bring this back around. And let's bring this up. What I'm going to do is we're going to just kind of do a reverse timeline down to the election. And see what we're going to be looking at here. So again, this was 88 from November 5th. So if this is this is where we're at. So we're how far away from there? As I said, this is a 31, 2 days, 32 days, something like that. So let's go back here. So here's I know what's going on here. Well, I was searching on this 88, and that's why the only posts I have below this are ones that containing 88. So it goes to 66. So we're missing a bunch. I tell you what, why don't we talk a little bit more while I refresh this page without the problem of missing all the first posts. So. There's quite a lot of posts have 88 in them, believe it or not. Okay. Try to get back up to the top here. Do a new search. Okay, sorry about that. So basic backtracking, from 88 going down to post 1, I think is what we're going to see as predictions for what we're going to see over the next month or so. Okay, there's a section here. How do I do this? I don't know this particular website well enough to see how to get to where we want to go quickly. All right. Well, the problem is that scrolling back through 4,800 posts from the beginning to get to one is not what I want to be doing here. So how do I fix that? Might have to go back and do that on another site. Must be a way of getting all of them listed here. There we go. I found load all posts. That will allow me to get to the bottom quickly. Okay, just take me some time. All right. That being said, any more questions in there before? Because we're going to probably have to wait for 5 minutes while this happens. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, Christy. All right, and Prague Underworld showed up. All right. So it's really strange. It's showing 46 viewers on one part, but the down below part doesn't show me the analytics of what's happening. Very strange. It's okay. I'll just let it go. All right. So we're in the very first post. What does it talk? The very first post. I think it's October 21st, was it? 2017 or 27th, something like that. So mid-October, there was a first post that came in, and there was in the first 30 came in the first 2 days, and so at 88 we're already a month out or a week out, sorry, and then we're looking at where Hillary is arrested. That's what it talks about, Hillary being less arrested. And it also talks about the day of the election, November 3rd, Podesta's arrest warrant is issued, actionable on the 4th, so November 4th, he can be arrested. So when are all the elections, when are all the arrests going to start? Probably after the election. But what might we see beforehand is and I did speak about this yesterday, but the people that are going to show up on camera and say that they're guilty, right? They're going to basically tell us, I did these bad things. I did treason against the president, and this is it. And they're going to do this confession. No arrests, right? Because these people are confessing. Is that just as good as arrests? or even better, because as they start confessing out on video and people are seeing the confessions come out, what may happen? We'll see we'll see the people that are above them running for the hills, right? Because they're going to be very worried about all of this, right? They're going to wonder what, when are they coming for them? What are they saying? So and then what's the other side of this? What else do we have that coincides with our storyline here, our narrative? So treason, right? But the treason doesn't do it for everybody, right? It doesn't move everyone off of it. Some people will just think, oh, that's just politics. Doesn't matter. They'll get away with it anyway. They're very cynical. So also, what ties it all together is the pedivores. One's eating the children. So that also is a narrative that's moving forward right now, right? And we're seeing it unfold, like Comey's daughter now being put in charge of Gisela Maxwell. Can't make this up, right? This stuff is out there. It's like, if you saw this in a book, or in a movie, well, that's not real, and they'd never let that happen, but they are. So we see this unfolding in front of our eyes, and we're going to see this all having a lead up to more confessions from, so let's say, Hollywood people about what they did to harm children, right? And what is that going to do to the people that are sleeping? They're going to wake up. At that point, you've got treason being yelled by the people confessing, and you've got the people that are, now confessing to harming children just before the election, leading up to the election. And on top of that, Trump coming out and saying the remdesivir's not working. I'm switching back to what I knew, helped me before, the malaria medicine, hydroxy. And then he's going to then miraculously become healed in a few days. 8 days from now, he's right as rain. And the FDA comes out, says we're approving it for prophylactic as a cure for the hydroxy, approving hydroxy as a cure for COVID. Having this then move in towards the election to where we're going to make the hydroxy available and the vaccines by way of the military at the polling places. Number one, to protect from the radical, terrorist groups that he's going to label as terrorists, the KKK, Antifa, and Black Lives Matter. We see Black Lives Matter and KKK showing up to the same riot. I don't know, but I think this is what we're going to see as our game plan. So let's see how we are good in loading up all of our posts here. It's still like it's not done loading. I said load all posts, so I might not be able to do this. We'll have to do it maybe tomorrow. We're 38 minutes in. It's okay. Again, if that's what we end up seeing, that's remarkable, because following in line with the backwards on the 17 NES posts from this marker, right? 10 to 2, October 2nd, following now backwards and seeing everything unfold from the 88th post down to the first. Hillary being arrested on the first post. So if that's where we end up, I think we'll be in a good spot. No one is going to be thinking about the Democrats saying, complaining about the mail-in ballots not being counted, because they're going to be running for the hills. They're going to make a dash for it. Someone says, I have 14,700 subscribers. Yes, it made it. The funny thing is that it shows up that because it's very close to that number, it's just below. With your help today, we can go over, take the video, and share it. Ask people to subscribe and share it, and that will do it. We'll make it over. And interesting, 1,000 in a month gain. Well, not quite there. I think it's 800 or something like that this time. But we could get there within a month. Yeah, it hasn't happened, since I started with Tank. Quite frankly, I was doing about 1,000 to 2,000 new subscribers a month, and I was looking and I was thinking, if this keeps going like this, it'll probably reach to 100,000 people within 6 months. Because it's exponential, right? It's like it spreads exponentially. That's a natural formation, is an exponential. It's not out of the ordinary. It's actually more natural for things to grow exponentially than not. There's a lot of things just peter out, and that's true, but it isn't very much part of nature is to grow exponentially. So I can see that is possible. So please do that. So Christy says, I appreciate your integrity and loyalty. Well, I appreciate that as well. Thank you very much. So she also says, many clocks in magazines too also show the time as well. Oh, I did not know that. That's interesting. Yeah, they like to tell us about these things ahead of time. All right, let me go back and look here. It's frozen. I can't load it. I'm going to give up on that for today because it's just not gonna. Oh, well, now it starts moving. Okay, let's see if I can get this down to the bottom here. I was able to move the slider to see what comes up. See how much of it loaded. Oh, okay, we're in good. All right, down to the 150 mark. So I can get to the bottom, no problem now. All right. Let me share my screen with you so you can see where I'm at. I was just about to give up. Actually, after you just said that I don't give up. See? Well, I guess I give up sometimes. But I was going to come right back at it on the next Frontline. These are some posts, aren't they? Some long posts back then. It's only in the first 113 that I saw that. Talk about Fantasy Island. Okay. So, right, here we go. So here's 88. Oh, now I got to zoom in. Let's see how far left does it put me. Oh, not too bad. It's got to realign all those as when I zoom in. Otherwise, it becomes too small. I can barely read it when it's this small. Hello. Okay. Well, again, it's rolling pretty slowly here. I'll come up with a solution for this at some point. Or download the whole thing. Keep it in memory. All right. And of course, my dog is excited about someone at the front. So we're keep going here to see if we can keep it loaded. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. While it's refreshing, I'll talk to you. So, okay, in this countdown that we're going to go through, it laid out in the very beginning things that seemed relevant back then, right? It was painting a picture back then that no one knew that it was going to be future-proofs past. You had to have time go by for that to come about, and the idea planted. Look at these dates. Look at what happened. Look how it's occurring. Right. It finally updated back to the 600 mark here. So we had to wait until there was enough time passed, and then we started looking at deltas. What was the first delta? Meaning the time span between point A and point B, 1 year delta, to say when No Name McCain would be executed. Every dog has his day. Right? That was the first time. 1 year prediction of the future that happened in the past, as he died on Dog Day. So that's why we got to see it evolve, because high profile weird things happen. We saw McCain walking around with a he broke his leg, and so you saw a cast on his leg, and then it switched to the other leg. Oh, well, tired of pretending on one leg, so you just switch it to the other leg so you don't get tired. Yeah, amazing. So I think this is this gave everybody the wow. How can you be so predictive? So what did we think was going on? AI involved in prediction, and I said there are predictive algorithms, right? And part of the theory goes is like if you could plug in enough data from the Facebook and Google and all the personal attributes of all these people, gather it, put it under an AI, that the AI would be able to look at all the trends and look at that and see what a prediction might occur. So these kind of algorithms, predictive algorithms, are used in the stock market so that they can predict which way the stocks are going to go. And so everyone has this idea of what it's going to be like, in the future. Can it predict to that accuracy? No Name McCain disappearing, right, and dying, and then everything else that happened afterwards. So what are we looking at? Is this kind of? Sorry, my dog is freaking out. So we looked at it back then and was wondering, what is it that is going to allow for that to happen, that prediction? This is when everything started getting into the Alice in Wonderland. This got into the probability of Operation Looking Glass, being able to tell the future, see possible timelines, all right, and to be able to go through that. So is that more likely, or is it predictive AI algorithms? There's a lot of evidence about this being able to see in the future. We've have stories of time travel devices by Tesla. Right? So is it possible? Then we start dealing with John Trump and taking over all of Tesla's equipment. Would that be, something that makes sense then? Is like, well, there's rumors that he had time travel ability, and then what do we have coming up after that? Is we have John Trump taking this equipment and basically saying, "Oh, it has no, scientific basis, and it's, gobbledygook." And I think he did that within 3 days of Tesla dying, and then grabbing all of his trunks of information. Actually, saw one little video. I was talking about how he had 20 trunks worth of his notebooks, right? And I guess 18 of them were supposedly recovered by John Trump. Where's the other 2? Or maybe there was only there was 20, and John Trump hid away 2 of them, which is also something that is a possibility. So it is, and then people that talk about time travel, and I've brought this up before, as I had my own theory about time travel being possible, and that we all have, for the most part, experienced it. Not 100% of everyone, and I say deja vu is time travel. I think that's what we're looking at when we start looking at time travel. If we see that it's just seen out into the future, we're experiencing the future a few moments ahead of time, and that's what deja vu is. And I think that has more to do with magnetic weather patterns, right? Meaning that there's storms of magnetic storms and bubbles of magnetic things, that your reality that you're creating, and the other overwhelming reality coming at you from this influx of magnetic energy that washes over you, and you get to have your bubble push back over you just slightly to where you can see into the future moments. So I think that's more or less what we're looking at when we see these things. Still trying to get to the bottom here, sorry. It keeps refreshing. I'm in the 500s, which is pretty good, but okay, I made it. Yes, I'm in the 40s now. Okay, I can scroll up. I'm not going to zoom in any closer, as it takes too long for this to update. Let me switch back over to the screen. Get up to 80. So I'm not going to read through 80, so don't worry about 88 posts. We're just going to kind of, get some highlights as we go down. Things that look kind of relevant. There's 86, 87, and here's 88. Hello. Still moving slow. Why is this a different 88? Interesting. Now, what do you do with that? Okay, here's 90. Here's 89. I scroll down. Oh, there's 88. That's what I was looking at, the top of the wrong one. Got it. All right, so here's the one we already read. So 10 days, darkness, scare tactics. Okay, so we got that. So what's 87? My signatures are reference coming events about to drop. It hasn't been caught on. Snow White and Godfather 3. So Snow White, this may have something to do with the 7 dwarfs, which may have something to do with satellite surveillance. That's a whole other, conversation and a half. Godfather 3, since that seems to have some kind of significance to this, maybe it's because we're dealing with like the Vatican. By the way, the mafia type attitudes that prevail throughout the Vatican. And Mike Pompeo went there yesterday or today, and the Pope wouldn't meet with him. Interesting. Okay, what do we have here? So we're talking, finally, correct reference, Saudi Arabia, the bloody wonderland. So what are we bringing up? Alice in Wonderland, the signatures, study important. So we're just talking now. This is from November 5th. So we're on the same date as the other post. So are we seeing anything from Alice, which is also Hillary? Well, we saw that she put out that very strange video, her little podcast, and had a demonic book of glass sculptures on her table. It was a great, coffee table book. All right, 85. Who funds MS-13? Well, maybe Soros. That's been in the news, but not MS-13. Are they going to pop up now? Well, now Trump's been removing them, so it might not be much of an issue. But what else is in the news? Look right here. Building the wall, right? I'm trying to highlight it, didn't highlight. I did that. I did the move. No, it's very slow. There we go. So building the wall, immigration, drugs, MS-13, removal of MS-13. So they've been pretty much removed. But what's happening right now, today? A new caravan coming up to the border. Can you believe it? Immigration, is that going to happen? Don't think so. Drugs, wall's pretty good there. It's I don't know what it is, but it was going up at about a mile, 10 miles a week or something like that. It was over 300, so it'll be close to 400 miles complete. Why do you hire for a hit? No, that'd be MS-13, right? Who can be eliminated after the job is complete? Well, the people that did the hit, right? So, and now it brings up Seth Rich. Now, is that going to be in the story right now? Well, we're talking Julian Assange, Seth Rich, the Russian collusion story. That's all really relevant right now. They're banging on the Russian collusion on Hillary's side and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. So who was found dead shortly after this? Murdered. What affiliation did they have? Classified. Okay, let's keep going. And here's our countdown. We're doing our countdown here. So 84. Please add crumbs above to complete graphic. Organize in order. Critical understanding and review. Spiderweb. Hillary and Saudi Arabia, Alice in Wonderland. See above. So again, we're still in the Godfather 3 and Snow White section here. We go on 83. Same thing. Same conversation. Let's keep going down. So 82. Repost. Things to be solved. Understand what is about to happen. Let's start with Hillary in Wonderland. Hillary Clinton in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Interesting. So Saudi Arabia, the bloody wonderland. 81. The big news drops. Please reread entire graphic. Oh, we're kind of going there again. Let's keep going. So we're still talking about the same stuff. So there's more of that. Hillary Clinton Wonderland. We've got a bunch of posts here. Graphic is right. Add above points of graphic. Stay organized. I'm not going to go click on any images. That'd be a lot of time to do that. So 78. Repost. Disinformation is real. Distractions are necessary. All right. So we're using disinformation. Is Trump sick or not? Does he actually have it, or are they just going to say he has it? I wouldn't put it past him that they do this as part of the script, controlling the narrative. He could very well have gotten sick. He may have subjected himself to it on purpose. I don't know, right? I do know he's going to be okay. And this is going to be really bad for Fauci and for Remdesivir. So 78. Disinformation is real. Okay, we got that. What was POTUS' last tweet prior to? Who was it addressed? When was POTUS Twitter taken down? Well, so are we going to see that happen? Why is this relevant? What is POTUS' last tweet prior to? All right, again, who's addressed to specifically? When is it taken down? Will this has this ever happened before? Why now? Coincidence? How many times did the attack occur? What is the purpose of tracking? Well, tracking was something that was all about contact tracing, right? So we're tracking individuals. So that's part of the past, is now part of the future. Okay, what's the purpose of the disruption? Why did POTUS have military guards uniform while in Hawaii? That I don't know. Why is this relevant? Do military guards uniform typically assist the USSS? Don't know. Why is this relevant? Okay. Let's keep going. So Q 17 equals Alice. You'll understand the meaning behind Alice in Wonderland. Everything has a meaning. God bless. All right, let's see. What's the next one over here? So going backwards, 77. Follow Huma. Is Huma going to be coming up? Well, we know what's in a certain video with a girl's face being ripped off, right? So she was in that video with Hillary. Is that going to come up? No. The video that made the police officers, the hardened police officers, watch the video and then go throw up? Why is this relevant? Who is the Muslim Brotherhood? Right? Who has ties to Michelle Obama? No, that would be not Michelle. It's MB. Who is Awan? What is the Awan group? Where do they have offices? So the answers to these questions is close to tunnels in Central Park. Right? So interesting. They're down by the boat dock. Remember where the hospital ships were docked? Right there. I think maybe they were doing some spying equipment, in those ships, maybe used for seeing what was going on around there. Here, let me send these hospital ships up for you to use, right? And oh, by the way, has all this spy equipment in to see what's going on underground over there. Why is this relevant? All right, define cash laundering. What is the relationship between SA and Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan? Why is this relevant? Well, I think one was Pakistan was used for is opium, right? Growing the opium, the poppy plants, and then getting this for the drug trade, which is what they use, right, to make money. That's why it's relevant. Why would Saudi Arabia provide tens of millions of dollars to U.S. senior government officials? Why does Saudi Arabia obtain in exchange for payment? What did they get? Why is access important? What happened when HRC lost the election in 2016? How much money was provided to the Clinton Foundation by Saudi Arabia in 2015 and 16? Okay, so we're getting a lot of like information drops here about what was going on back then. So let's keep going, because this is laying down information. What else do we have here? So this is 76. Martial law declared in Saudi Arabia. Why is this relevant? Because they were cleaning house. Is that something that's going to be happening now? Interesting. We're going to be cleaning house where? Why did the Bush family recently come out against POTUS? So we have a lot of the Never Trumpers also forming to think tanks and that against Trump, together with Democrats. That's the deep state for trying to fight back. All right, so we've got a lot here about Alice in Wonderland. So safe harbor. Why is this relevant? Port of transfer. Right? What was another port of transfer that just got blown up in Lebanon with a missile strike? We saw the IR enhanced video where you could see the actually missile entering the place and then kabooey. Why is a recent smear campaign against JK and POTUS? JK, John Kennedy Jr. Interesting. 74. Again, 17 equals Alice. You'll soon understand the meaning behind Alice in Wonderland. All right, let's keep going here. It seems to be like the similar. 73 seems like to be something we covered already. All right, let's keep going. 72. Wait, go back to the post about families that run everything, and Trump taking one out. One of them was the house, the Saudi family, right? Well, what's one of the other? The two others on that triangle were Rothschild and Soros. So we had the Saudi side taken out. We still have Rothschild. Now Rothschild seems to have been moved out of power, right? And that's leaving Soros there standing alone. And this is all fairly recent. Okay, let's keep going here. 71. Follow Huma, HRC, and the Clinton Foundation to Saudi Arabia. Why is this relevant? Muslim Brotherhood, and so on. Let's just keep going. We've already covered this theme pretty much. We'll just keep going. We know what's coming. 70 here, and 69. I'm going to kind of see, are they about the same? No, 69 is different. So let's see what that 69 is. Godspeed to those put in harm's way. You're the bravest men and women on earth. We will never forget. Okay. It goes into a prayer. Let's keep going. 68. Just Trump. Huma, huma, huma. All right. 67. Let's go there. Who is the TSA head? All right. How does Homeland Security interact with TSA? So let's see. What updated post 9/11 protocols were put in place to prevent inborn, outborn sea level targets? It's interesting. So we're talking about why the 9/11 happened and what was put in place. The Council of Wizards and Warlocks cannot be defeated. That's the Patriot side of the book. So they're basically talking about these posts, right? What the plan that we're looking at unfold. 66, let us be clear, the CIA just attacked the commander-in-chief, which was immediately detected by NSA military intelligence and alerted to POTUS. Review my crumbs, including yesterday tweet. So I was talking about one of these assassination attempts. All right, 65. We're right now down to November 2nd. So we're at November 5th to start. We're now at November 2nd. Flash traffic, 3-letter agency embedded, tracking up channel to POTUS Twitter, specifically targeted through specialized geo and send location. So this is how it happened, right? How they were tracking them. 64. My fellow patriots, I'm being advised actions have created accelerated counteractions. Oh, so they were being detected. Do not panic. All right, let's keep going. 63, back to Alice in Wonderland conversation. Let's keep going. 62. Okay, again, Alice in Wonderland. 61. Expect out. So here, let's read this one. So please refer back to collect my crumbs. As discussed, we have anticipated the Twitter and social media blackouts. So this is November 2nd, right? Day before the election. Rogue agents, programmers, sealed federal orders. We quickly track and reinstate it. Expect outages periodically. Infiltrated. So basically, there's a plan in place that we're talking about now, before the election, that they're going to try and censor everything. And they have countermeasures in place. So let's see if that holds up. That's 61. 60. Let's talk about game theory. Outside a potential operator who has been dialed in with orders, his or her specific mission. Nobody else has this information. Operators never divulge. So, okay, this is the information warfare, the sleeper agents we have to deal with. Let's keep going. That's more on Saudi Arabia. So let's go to 58. Hill Magazine, what we're talking about here. McCain and others roundly criticized Michelle Bachmann in 2012 for the 4 members of the House Permit Select Committee. Yeah, why were they attacking her? Why is that relevant? Who took an undisclosed trip to Saudi Arabia? Well, McCain. What was the purpose of a face-to-face versus a phone call? Alice in Wonderland. So McCain is also involved with this. 57. McCain and others roundly criticized. Okay, back to that. All right. So that was, they were commenting. So let's keep going. 56. Again, all about this Muslim Brotherhood and Saudi Arabia. My fellow Mary, the storm is upon us. So here we go. November 2nd. The storm is upon us. Is this what's going to happen on November 2nd this year? I would say this is a possibility. This would be one of the things to look out. This would be Trump coming out and saying this. Exactly this. My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. So would that happen November 2nd of this year? I think that's what we're going to see. So I think this is a ding, ding, ding. It's so much of a ding, ding, ding. Let me go ahead and I'm going to highlight this. Turn on my little highlighter. That's just an extension in the browser that allows me to do highlighting. It's helpful. But I think it's a little taxing instead. I'm going to just go ahead and take a little screenshot of this. All right. So let's look for that, November 2nd. I think that's a likely, future proofs past moment. 54, again, still November 2nd. All right, that's a quote from a prayer. All right, and so 53. Listed all who have foundations. Why is this relevant? Oh, that's interesting. What about those foundations? Right, because they can hide their money there. It's impenetrable to the IRS. They can't get the money, so on. 52. Pre-election campaign annual salary of the president. And they're talking about here. Alice in Wonderland again. Where does the money go? So what's this one on there? So 51. I've watched the society effectively addicted to MS. Yeah, so that's true. All right. Pizza. Conversation on pizza. So what does the 17 NES say here? Oh, this is the White House. Dear Patriot, we hear you. We hear all mayors such as yourself. The time has come to take back our great land. The time is now. Rest assured, POTUS is backed by absolutely finest people alive who are all dedicated to the eradication of evil and corruption from the U.S. and the world. Find peace. God is with us. God bless. Be safe. The White House. So usually it says something else, right? That says the White House. That might have turned into Q plus at some point. So this is also November 2nd. So again, we're still on November 2nd, and we're really talking about, the time is now. All right, I'm gonna take a snapshot of that one too while we're here. I can't get the whole thing, darn it. All right. Go the wrong way. And they take it in 2 pieces or more. All right, that's good. All right, so I guess you see the pattern that I've been discussing, right? So that there are things that were said back then that we can just apply to now, and we look at the dates being the delta, future proofs past, and then we go from there. So here's one. So how did North Korea obtain uranium? Interesting, right? How did Iran obtain uranium? Well, that's uranium-1. It all came from America. Wow. When the bombs go off, who's to blame? They trace where the uranium came from. Why did BO send billions, Barack Obama send billions to Iran, right? What's to fund these nuclear programs? Who controls North Korea? Is it Kim Jong-un? Or is it Barack Obama? Who really controls North Korea? Don't think of a single person. Think of a power entity. Well, okay, we can say Barack's deep state. That Barack Obama went to North Korea. Oh. Anyway, so let's see. North Korea having miniaturized nuclear weapons. Where's Barack Obama today? Interesting. Where was he? So what day was that? November 2nd still. We're still on that day. So let's keep going. So follow Senator Grassley. So, okay, he's part of the drops, talking about corn a lot. So 49. So that's still on November 2nd. Why does he have a higher amount of security detail? Uranium-1, FBI informant, so Alice in Water, state secrets. So again, all of this, November 2nd, still on November 2nd. What is the 17 clearance? It's in the Department of Energy. Uranium-1, yo-ho. DOD, Department of Energy. Russia should have viewed a friendly partner under Section 123, Atomic Energy Act of 1954. All right. What else here? 47. Okay. You can paint the picture based solely on the questions asked. Be vigilant today and expect major false flag. November 2nd. That would seem about right. Does anyone find it to be coincident that there is always a terrorist attack when bad news breaks for the D's? What's that called? Change the narrative. Yeah, military relevant, how? Barack Obama could not and would not allow the military to destroy the ISIS. Why? How was ISIS formed? McCain. When? How does POTUS make such progress in the short time he's been president? Well, he's made because it was planned. Remember I pointed out, as soon as Trump took office, within 3 months, 3,600 pedophiles were arrested. First 3 months. You just don't go into office and that just kind of like happen. And it's been that way ever since. So 46, and that was major raids through different states. A friend of mine who was with one of the groups in California, his comment was, "Why is this not in the news? We just rescued this many kids in cages. Why is this not in the news?" As it's all hidden from the people, that's why. All right, still November 2nd, 46. There's gonna be this November 2nd is going to be pretty, explosive. Oh, I shouldn't use that word. Packed with events. Why is the information brought by important uranium one? Okay, we got this story here. We don't have to go over all the details, just to get the flavor of this. 45, follow Huma. All right. Why is Donna running for cover? She went to run and cover under Fox, I think, right? So Fox News, Donna Brazil. 44, before POTUS departs on Friday, he will be sending an important message via Twitter. God bless. Interesting. So maybe that might have happened. Again, November 2nd, post number 43. These crimes are not meant to scare anyone, but merely inform. Resistance will be dealt with swiftly. Well, that's good to know, right? The core focus is removing entrenched and fortified bad actors within our federal government, past and present, as well as others. Simply be diligent. Phone numbers will be provided if you witness an uprising or other domestic violence, in addition to 911. Any military scene is for your protection as well as to demonstrate our resolve. Watch for confirmations tomorrow. So this is a telling one. I'm going to take a snapshot of this one. I might as well get 44 as well. So, resistance will be dealt with swiftly, right? Be diligent. Watch what's going on. And this again, November 2nd. Now let's keep going. So 42. We serve the pleasure of the president. DJT. It's DJT. Department of. Don't know. All right, number 41. What a coincidence. The mountains that housed North Korea's nuclear weapon and testing collapsed. Unbelievable timing. I wonder if critically important materials as well as scientists, aka bomb makers, were inside when it happened. Shocking, no global news. Well, I think that's something that happened back then. It's probably not going to be repeated, but interesting. Number 40, we got 4, 10, and 20, A, B, C, D, and E. 4, 10, and 20. Okay, this is from, again, November 2nd. They were really busy that November 2nd, weren't they? You can imagine a LARP coming out with all of this stuff in like this one day. Craziness. This must mean something. 4, 10, 20. The 4th of October, 2020. A, B, C, D, and E. That's something to look out for. So we're only a day away from there, 2 days from there. Okay, 39. Again, November 2nd. Would blow your mind if I told you Barack Obama has been to North Korea and perhaps is there now. Boom. Why did his administration do so little to slow their nuclear and missile capabilities? Who feeds North Korea with strategic intel? Iran? So probably Iran. Okay. So what deal was done with Iran under Barack Obama? Why is the deal sealed under top secret classification? Why wasn't Congress notified? Why did Barack Obama leave office? All of a sudden, North Korea has nukes and technology to miniaturize for payload delivery within the United States. Interesting, right? So he leaves office, and all of a sudden, what was he telling Trump on his way out the door? Oh, I'm worried about North Korea. Wink, wink. What about the NSA, CIA, DJ, etc., all confirming technology won't be in place for 5+ years? Well, they're wrong, right? Because the money came in. And probably the technology as well. Why is this all relevant? What does it tell you? The big picture is rare. Hard to see the big picture, except when you're here on the front lines. All right, number 38, still November 2nd. Let's see what else are we going into here. 4 carries and escorts in the Pacific. So a lot of tension in the Pacific. Okay, increasing military. Follow Huma. The calm before the storm. All right. So one of the major events that can happen in the next 30 days before the election is China in the South China Sea against U.S. ships, Philippines ships, others, Japan. Okay, 37. Let's keep going. They are true patriots. They will never forget. These days are coming to be remembered in our history. At the time we fought to recapture the Republic from those evil, bad actors who for so long have sacrificed the good people of this land for their own personal gain. And that's about right? This is what we're looking at. 36. We've covered half of them already. And we're still on November 2nd, and actually November 1st starts here at 35. So this is the last one for November 2nd, military intelligence, no media, no leaks. How many military generals have been in and out of White House in the past 30 days? Focus on Flynn, background on the potential role. So this is also, right, focus on Flynn. We're going to see Flynn popping up here. In some point, I think he'll be released before the election. Get out of this, but we'll see. Maybe it's after. Background and potential role, right? So that's going to be important. Why did Soros transfer the bulk of his public funds to an NPO? So he can safeguard his money. So because POTUS signed that bill to say anything related to human trafficking would be confiscated, right? So they could get all of his money that way. Who owes a lot to very bad actors? Well, I guess Soros. Again, Soros is not the top of the heap, right? He's the bottom of the lowest run of the upper level. That's what we can look at him. How can she repay as payment what was made under promise of victory? What cash payments occurred by Barack Obama during the last 90 days of presidency to foreign states? I see all this money, right, that went there. How does Soros, Obama, Clinton, Holder, Lynch net millions of dollars, normally within a single tax year? What was negotiated on the tarmac between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch? Okay, we're getting the picture painted here on these other things going on. All right, let's keep going here. So this was now the 1st of November, and I think we'll stop here, right? Because it takes a while to go through this. We can continue after this. So POTUS will be insulated, protected on Air Force One and abroad, specific locations classified, while these operations are conducted due to the nature of the entrenchment, right? So due to the nature of the entrenchment, he's going to be protected on Air Force One. It is time to take back our country and make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in the uniform who undertake this assignment to bring forth peace, unity, and return power to the people. It is our hope that this message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. We cannot yet telegraph this message through normal methods for reasons that I'm sure everyone can understand. Follow the questions from the previous threads and remain calm. Primary targets are within DC and remain at the top, both sides. The spillover is in the streets will be quickly shut down. Look for more false flags. So they're saying that anything that happens, spillovers in the street, they're going to shut it down quickly. Right? But look for more false flags. I'm saying those words, but all right. Stay alert, be vigilant, and above all, please pray. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, and whomever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Love is patient, love is kind. God bless fellow Americans. 4/10/20. There's that number again, right? So the 10th, on the 4th of October, 2020. So if that's the date, and what is it talking about here? That POTUS will be insulated and protected on Air Force One, November 1st. So will it happen on November 1st, or go by this number here, 4, 10, and 20? It might not be a date. I'm just saying it might be November 2nd, going by what I was saying. But this theory. All right, let's break it right there. Let's look in who's over here. Let's see. Any more questions? Matrix glitch. All right. Have you looked into Russell J. Gould? He's about to set up You Will Flip. Warcastle. So, okay, I have looked into Russell J. Gould and David Wynn Miller. I appreciate syntax grammar. Wonderful invention. I got it. I put a lot of hours into watching what they were talking about. I see there's a lot of drama that was there. And I see the explanation coming from Gould about what he's been, what happened with him and David Wynn Miller. That doesn't change that I think syntax grammar is a good technology. So, but when you start getting into how do I say this? Let's stop here for a moment. I'll talk about this. We're an hour and a half in, but all right, I'll talk about this. I've seen many people in my journey since 2014, and getting to Swiss Indo, and meeting with Bapaksuki, who was M1. M1 meaning it's a position, it's a title, it's the ability to pull down asset. Now we go with Kim Gogan, and she has the ability to pull down asset or create cash from the asset there by her signature per se. So M1, same thing, right? Able to pull down. Now as a trustee in the trust, which there was 600 people out there that were having access to trust, maybe they had different positions. Some of them had the M position. I had seen a map at Swiss Indo, Bob Paksuki showed like Marcos was M5. So Marcos had that ability to pull down. But was that like the top of the pyramid? Was that like the owner of all the asset? No, it's a position. Nobody owns a trust, right? The trust owns the asset. Then you have controllers of trust. This is an all trust, not just the big trust. But M1, or Bob Paksuki at this time, was thinking he is the top of the top, right? Now, throughout the Philippines, I met a lot of people, princesses, daughters of Marcos, different, people that are all aiming claim to having access to everything, that they are the ones that can make something happen, but they can't. Nothing. They can't make anything happen. Right? Doesn't matter how much paperwork you do or anything. It never goes beyond that. The banks don't cooperate. I've walked into the central bank here in the Philippines 4 times for appointments with people, and they just want the documents, and they want the original documents, and they're going to not send them back. You send them up, and you'll never see them again. That kind of thing. It's a big gameplay that has been going on for a lot of the people that have had, in their seats of power of, let's say, the central banking system, because they used to be able to pull down the asset, but as we know, if we're following, what happened with the Mono World Holding Trust, or happened with where they were all cut out as trustees in 2007 or 2008. I think it was 2007. But they were supposed to wrap everything up and control the world by 2012 before the asset would be made available to the one, which again became Kim. Right? So they can't pull down. Nobody can pull down anything, right? No one can do anything. So back around to Russell J. Gould, the chief high judge and whatever. Can he pull down money? Can he make it materialize? Right? Is that what you're looking for? Does I don't doubt anything that they say that they've done, capturing the flag and all this. These are all things that can happen, right? That did happen, right? So we just give the benefit of the doubt, any doubt that they did make those things occur. And did it make a bunch of people upset, like in the system? Like, did it make George Bush Sr. flip out and get them arrested and go after them and all? Sure, right? But who can have access to that asset and pull it into the system, right? And move it into the accounts of people so that they can run their projects? Who can do it? I don't think Russell's going to be able to do that. Are there other groups even beyond that? Yes, that all have they're managing the best they can. Really, they're good people trying to do good things. People that are creating all sorts of their abilities to be patriotic and make assemblies. There are so many different assembly organizations that out there try to reseat the government. There was a group that I was following for 6 months. I was seeing how they were doing. They elected people and resat the government, and went back to the before he had to work from the 13 colonies, right, from that basis, and work forward and that kind of thing. Anyway, so all of this, there's so many good people trying to do good things because everyone wants to get out of this stupid debt-based slavery system, right? Everyone's fed up with it, right? We want to move forward and get out of this, right? So I want to support everyone's effort that has made these things to go forward and have access. And the best thing is for people to find out where you can agree and come together. Use syntax grammar as a way of writing contracts. I mean, I'm still going to study it and see how to make that happen, right? There's drama in that world. That is going back and forth, but syntax grammar is. I love that concept, right? There's a lot of validity in all of it, right? So there's truth in it, and you can rely. It's something you can build on. It's wonderful, right? So I love that part of it. So, but on how to move into the next levels of things, it's going to play a part, I feel, in a world after our transformation has, and we've removed everything that we're seeing happening, and the deep state tentacles get removed from the body, right? And we start to be able to breathe again, right? We're starting to be able to move around again. We're starting to be able to be creative and create new realities. This is going to be amazing time. And these things can be great building blocks, syntax grammar. It's wonderful. You know, I want to learn more about how to do it. I mean, now I realize I have to go back and study my early, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade about sentence structure and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, I know it's in there. I used to love sentence structure and parsing out sentences and things like that. But these things that have been, wonderful to discover. So I want to know more about that. All right, let me keep going here. Oh, this is okay. Okay, I know Russell has been talking about some things he's doing, so it'll be interesting, for sure. Okay. So you look tired. Have you gotten EMF stickers for your computer equipment? I'm so locked into my computer. It's permanently fixtured. To be this far away from my face, and there's not much I can do about it right now. And there's no stickers on it. So all I can do is pray for good health and eliminate any negative, influences, and focus on the positive. As much as I think that I need to do. Okay. All right. What else is there? Okay. Well, we all choose our battles. So right now, I'm in the YouTube universe. I'm using the tools that are available to me. Just as if when I was a young guy in business, right, and I was making money, I used the tools that were there, right? Coming up with things that were completely, against what the system was about, right? Was a way that was, I saw so many people over the years just running, keep banging into that brick wall, right? And so how do you move forward? You got to be smart. You got to pick your battles. We can overcome all the negative influences. We just have to be aware, remain positive, and be focused about where we're going. Right? And we're going to a great place. So I guess that's good for now. Thank you all for joining. This was interesting to see. What's going on, and we'll continue going back in time till we get to the first post. We'll hope we can finish that up tomorrow, unless some other major news comes about. But until then, thank you for joining. And again, if you'd like to contribute, my PayPal link is down below. Anything, all help is welcome. Thank you again. Until tomorrow.